How's it going, Green Gang? Today, I'm super excited to be releasing something I've been working on for a while now. I've been working on a Grow Journal template for the program called Obsidian. And Obsidian's a very awesome cross-platform note-taking program that allows you to take extremely detailed notes, organize them extremely well as search throughout them, making it a perfect tool for a Grow Journal. And the single best way to keep improving on your garden is by keeping detailed notes of your previous grows in order to track down what did and didn't do well. Another great thing about Obsidian and keeping your records this way is that none of your records are out on the cloud. They're not accessible by anybody else. So if you're a person that has privacy concerns, none of your information is going to be out there on the internet, and it will only be on the devices in which you set this up on. A secondary awesome feature of Obsidian is that all the notes are written in Markdown, which means no matter if Obsidian goes out of business, stops making updates to their program, or anything like that, you will still have access to your notes and your records because they're written in Markdown. And Markdown can be read by any web browser on any device. So we talked about Obsidian and how awesome of a program that is. The only other program we need to complete our task is called syncthing. And syncthing's like a Google Drive or a Dropbox that you install on your computer that allows you to sync a folder across all your different devices that syncthing is installed to. But before we get into the technicals on how to set all that up, let's check out the Grow Journal. Now here, I'm on my computer with the Grow Journal, and you can see in the upper left here, we have a propagation area, a veg area, a bloom area, a mother area, a breeding area, a area for cultivars to keep track of all the different cultivars you have in your garden, and flowering times, growth characteristics, all that you can keep track of. We got an area for daily notes, so where you can just throw any random daily note into. There's also a daily planner, so you can plan out days in the future. Then this files folder here is where all the different attachments that you're going to add into your Grow Journal will go to. So if you add a picture or a video, all of those are going to end up in this files folder. There's also a harvest data area to keep track of all your previous harvests. And then there's a nice little area in here for preparation notes for your compost teas, your feeding charts, your foliar feeding, so you can keep track of all your different recipes right here in the Grow Journal. And then there's also a resources folder here as well that has different conversion charts for dilutions or gallons to quarts to tablespoons. There's a diseases section in here, a nutrient stressor section, a pest section, a pH section, a symptoms checker that has a little picture in here that allows you to cross-reference what may or may not be going wrong on your plants. There's also a little VPD chart section in here that has a VPD chart at the bottom, but also at the top here there's an interactive website right here where you can set my relative humidity is 62%, my air temperature is 85, my leaf temperature is 76, and you can find out your exact VPD. And this is useful so you can put in your VPD into your different areas of your veg area, bloom area, and whatnot, and you can keep track of your VPD throughout the growth cycle. The only other thing in here is templates, and the templates folder you'll probably end up leaving alone because all of these are templates for when you go up here, let's say to veg area, and create a new note. It creates all of this for you ahead of time using that template. So it has the tasks, the cultivars, the pictures and the videos, the notes, and the areas to put every bit of information you need into already put in here, and that's from that templates folder. So I wouldn't mess with this templates folder. The last two things that we have are codex, which is pretty much saying this is how I'm laying out my plant IDs. You can create your own plant ID system, but we will go over a little bit of a plant ID system here in a minute. And then there's also a Markdown cheat sheet in here because, like I was saying earlier, all the notes in Obsidian are written in Markdown. So you can use the Markdown language, which is quite easy. It's an HTML language, to spice up your notes, make them look better, and have more interactivity. So you can end up, putting an iframe in here for making a video from the internet. Like this is a video from the internet and not from my computer or phone. And you can go through here and check out the different types of blocks or different things that you can copy out of here and add into your notes. But this is a good little cheat sheet for people that don't know Markdown, and it allows people to easily copy and paste into their other notes. Now I'm going to go here and delete this real quick, and we'll go ahead and show you how to make a note in a new area. Now on the computer, you right click on the veg area, or let's say you're doing propagation area, you right click and click new note. It will automatically make the new note, put the date at the top, and input all this boilerplate so you can fill this information out without having to retype everything over and over and over again. Same on the phone. Instead of right clicking, you're going to want to long press on the propagation area to create a new note. And then we're going to go ahead and delete this new note because I don't need that note. And the same goes for every single area in here. Mother area, veg area, bloom area, all the different areas. So before I show you how to do everything on your phone, because more than likely that's how you're going to input the data while you're out and about in your garden, taking pictures and watering and whatnot, we need to take a look at the tag codex and how I like to set up the plant IDs. Now this is completely up to you. You can change this up how you like, but this seems to be working out quite well for me. So if we take a look at the tag codex, we have a few examples in here. And a tag is nothing more than a hashtag, just like on any social media platform. But the only difference between that on a social media platform and an Obsidian is that you can go a few levels deep with your tags. So if you do hashtag bloom, which is the area in which that plant is in, / purple ice water, the cultivar that it is, and the / plant ID, which I usually do an acronym like PIW01, and then you got 02, 03, 04 for subsequent plants. The same thing for the mother's area. You can do hashtag mother's area / space center, or whatever plant it is, / plant ID. And what this does in Obsidian when you make your tags like this is it allows you to easily search up all the different purple ice waters, or all the different space centers, or all the different plants inside of the bloom room, or all the different plants inside mother's area. And you can make these tags up as you're making a note. So if you're in a new area, you haven't made a tag yet for, let's say, the bloom area 2, you can do hashtag bloom 2 / purple ice water / PIW 02. So now you got the bloom room 2 with the purple ice water, and it's plant number 2. So you can keep track through all the different stages of growth, as well as all the way up to harvest. You can track per plant. Now, if you don't want to be that specific, you can just leave off the plant ID, and it'll just be the purple ice water, the cultivar, the area, and the cultivar. I hope that makes a little bit of sense on the plant ID and tagging system. Now, if we go back into wrong button, if we go back into our veg area here, and we create a new note, and we go under cultivars, we'll see plant ID, veg start time, suspected transition date, so like when you suspect to put this into flower and when you actually put it into flower. So if we go in here, we can go and type in our tags. And if you notice, I typed in a hashtag and it instantly purple ice water came up. I can do that, and then I can do / purple ice water 2. Now if we click out of it, you'll notice that we have our plant ID tagged right in here. And when you click this, it'll bring up another section on the left here, and we only have one document that has this tag in it, so there's not more than one purple ice water 2, or we don't have it in another section like a bloom area or a propagation area. So that's how you enter in your plant IDs, and you're able to keep track of your plant throughout its entire life cycle and throughout its different stages. So let's hop into the phone and I'll show you how we can do this on the phone, because it is a little bit different than on the computer. You'll have to do long presses, and the interface is a little bit different on the phone. So let's hop into the phone. So we're going to hop right into Obsidian. And then if you look in the upper left hand corner where there's the 3 lines or the hamburger menu, we can tap on that. And then in any of the categories in the grow journal, propagation area, veg area, so on, we can hold, do a long press on it, and create a new note. And it'll pull in the template just like we discussed before, and you can add in your to-do list, like, take clones, and you can add in your plant ID in here, add in the hashtag. Oops, we need to go down 1 row. Hashtag purple ice water bloom 2, and you can add pictures or videos here by clicking the image icon here, adding an image. You can then add in your temperature and humidity and VPD, all the above. And it has a spot for any and everything for you to add in, top dress amendments, compost tea, the pH of each of those. If you're just watering, the pH or any of the additives that you're adding into the water, foliar feedings. And then if you get all the way to the bottom here, you got the audio notes, in which if you go all the way to the very end here, you can press play or record. Yo, what up? The stank fruit's doing amazing. And then hit stop, and then you'll have an audio note directly in your Obsidian notes, and that will transfer all the way into the computer with the syncthing. And that, if you continually use this grow journal setup and make sure that you're tracking everything over a 3 or 6 month time span, you have a decent data set to go back on and try to improve your gardening skills. So let's get to installing Obsidian and syncthing on the computer, so it'll be easier to make sure that all your devices have the same template version of Obsidian and syncthing. So let's get onto the computer and get to it. So here we got Windows 10 pulled up. You can run Obsidian on every platform, Mac and Linux, as well as Windows. If you're running Linux, you probably know how to do most of this stuff. But we're going to open up a web browser, and we're going to head to obsidian.md. And right on the front page here, you got the big download button, Get Obsidian for Windows. If you're running Mac or Linux, it'll say get it for Mac, get it for Linux. And we're going to go ahead and open that up and start installing that. Now, as you can see, it's also available on the App Store and Google Play. So if you want to install it also onto your phone while it's installing on your computer, that'll make syncing it to your phone much quicker. Now that we have Obsidian installed, we're just going to go ahead and minimize this. And then you're going to go to your email that you got and download the zip file. Everybody's download link is going to be a little bit different, but if you go to your email and download that zip file, that's all you need to do. I have already done that. And if I open up my Windows Explorer and I go into my downloads folder, you can see I have growjournal.zip right here. Now if you double click into that, it's going to open up into what it looks like another folder, and you're just going to drag this folder into your documents, and we're going to let that copy over. Now that we have the Grow Journal template installed into our My Documents folder here, we can go ahead and close out of the Windows Explorer and open back up Obsidian. And instead of creating a new vault, we're going to go ahead and open an existing vault. And then we're going to go right to the documents and open up Grow Journal as the vault. Now when you first open this, it's going to ask you if you trust the author of this vault, which technically the author of this vault would be me. And opening the vault has some plugins associated with the vault or with this program. And if you don't trust said person, you can say, no, I do not trust this author, and browse the vault in restricted mode. Or you can say, I trust this author, and enable all the plugins. I'm going to trust the author because it's me, and enable all the plugins. Now afterwards, it's going to bring you right into the options menu for Obsidian, and you don't technically need this right away, so you can close this out. And we now have Obsidian installed on our computer, and we have the Grow Journal template installed into Obsidian. The next thing you're going to want to do is minimize Obsidian and go back into our browser, our internet browser, and we're going to want to download syncthing. And if you just type in syncthing into Google search here, it'll bring up the syncthing.net, and we can go right to the download. Now for Windows, you can use synctracer, which is a Windows version of syncthing. Or for Mac, you can use syncthing Mac OS, which is a bundled application for Mac. And then you can also install syncthing from the Android App Store or Google Play Store. And then for iOS on the syncthing, there's another program that I'll have linked in the description that's the exact same syncthing program, but for iPhones. But for right now, we're going to go ahead and download the synctracer for Windows. And we're going to scroll down to the bottom here, and we're going to go to synctracer setup x64, and we're going to go ahead and download that one. Once that's downloaded, we can go ahead and start installing that one. And default location's completely fine. And we'll go ahead and create a desktop shortcut and install synctracer, which is a syncthing client. And we're going to go ahead and launch synctracer. Now we're going to go ahead and allow access. This is asking if syncthing can have access to the internet. And now we have syncthing. Now this is asking if you want to report anonymous usage data so that synctracer or syncthing can work on bugs and increase the speed of the network and all kinds of things. If you want to, you can go ahead and allow usage report. But I'm going to go ahead and say no. Now we have syncthing pulled up. And this right here is going to be the name of your desktop or your laptop if you installed it on your laptop. And the first thing that syncthing wants you to do is set up a password so that anybody who is accessing the screen here can't mess with your file. So we're going to go ahead and press OK. We're going to go to settings, GUI, and we're going to go ahead and set a password and user for our GUI. So I'm going to go ahead and put in Green Goblin and put in a password. And we're going to go ahead and hit save. So that way nobody else can access your administrative panel right here and mess with any of your files. Now that we have syncthing and Obsidian installed, as well as the template installed, we're going to add a folder to syncthing. And this is what's really cool about syncthing, is that you can add any folder from any device and it will sync to all your different devices. We're going to go ahead and click add folder. And we're going to leave this screen pulled up just like this. And we're going to go back to our Windows Explorer. We'll go back to Documents, Grow Journal. And now that you're in the Grow Journal section, you go up to this top bar here, and we can copy this entire address bar. And we can paste that in our folder path. Now this is just telling exactly where to look for the folder that you want to sync to all of your devices. Go ahead and label it Grow Journal, and then we'll check out the sharing. There is no trusted devices right now. That's completely fine. We haven't added a phone or anything else. File versioning, we're going to keep with no file versioning. And then we'll don't need to do anything in ignore patterns. And then in advanced, we just want to make sure this says send and receive. And we're going to go ahead and hit save. Now, all we have to do is add syncthing to your phone and or laptop or any other device that you want syncthing to be running on, as well as Obsidian. So we can get Obsidian set up and have the template imported, as well as having it sync with the computer. Now, once all this is set up, everything is, if you change something on your phone, it'll be changed on the computer, and it will also be changed on your laptop, and whatever else device that you set up this awesome combination of programs on. So now you have Obsidian and syncthing set up on your computer and phone and any other device you want to sync your Grow Journal to. And all we have to do to add multiple devices to syncthing's administration panel is go into the upper right hand corner here under Actions, go to Show ID. This will pop up a QR code that you can scan on your phone by going to the syncthing application, going to Devices, clicking the Add button, and next to Device ID you can press the little QR button and scan the code on the computer, and then go ahead and give that a name like main PC and press the check mark on that. And then once that happens, you can close out the device identification screen on your administration panel, and you can see that we have a new alert here saying we have a new device. We're going to go ahead and click add on the new device, and instead of using the hardware name, we're going to go ahead and name this something like John's phone, and we're going to hit save. And that's going to take a couple of seconds to connect, but once that's connected, we're going to be able to go over to Grow Journal here and click edit, go to sharing, and we're going to share this to John's phone, and we're going to go ahead and hit save. Once you click save, you're going to get a little notification on your syncthing application on your phone asking if main PC wants to share the Grow Journal with you, and we can go ahead and hit accept. And the label Grow Journal is completely fine. The only other thing we need to put in here is the directory and where syncthing is going to put the Grow Journal. So I like to usually choose Documents, Notes, and then create a folder in here and name it Grow Journal. And press OK. And then go ahead and say use this folder and allow access for syncthing to control files in that folder. And go ahead and hit the check mark. Once you do that, it will start syncing everything to the phone. And anything that you change on your phone in the Grow Journal will also change in the computer on the Grow Journal. And that's pretty much it. If you want to add yet another device, you just go to the syncthing application on the device that you want to add and add another device. Now, as a little side bonus here, we can go on the phone here if you want to be able to back up all your photos and videos separately to your computer other than just your Grow Journal photos. We can go to folders over here and we can add a folder. We can call this camera. And then we can go in here and choose the actual directory for our camera, which is usually under DCMI camera. And we'll go ahead and use this folder. We do want to allow access for syncthing to have access to these. And then we want to sync that to the main PC and hit checkmark. Now, if you notice on your main PC or on your laptop, it's saying John's phone wants to share a folder called camera. Do you want to do that? We'll go ahead and say, yes, we do want to add that folder. Now, instead of the default path here, we can open up our Windows Explorer and you can go to any drive that you want. I'm going to choose my extra drive here, and you can make a new folder and call this phone camera. Open that up, go in this top bar here, copy that address, and you can paste that address right into this folder path here. And then you can go ahead and hit save. Now it will take everything from your camera folder and put it onto your computer. So you don't have to use Google Photos or Dropbox or anything else to also save all your photos automatically to your computer. Now that we have that all set up, now all we have to do is go into Obsidian on our phone and load in the Grow Journal template, and we're ready to go. So we'll go into Obsidian, and instead of creating a new vault just like on the computer, we're going to open a folder as a vault. We're going to go into our notes, we're going to go into our Grow Journal, and we're going to use this folder. And we're going to go ahead and hit allow. Just like on the computer, it's going to ask you if you trust the author and you want to enable the plugins. I'm going to trust and enable. And then close out the settings page. And now we're ready to go. If you go up here in the top left and click the hamburger icon, you'll notice that we have our Grow Journal completely loaded in and ready to go. So that's it, Green Gang. That's how you install Obsidian and syncthing, as well as the Grow Journal template. I hope you enjoyed the video and find this tool extremely useful. I hope you pick up the Grow Journal template. The link will be in the description, and it helps support the Green Gang massively. And hope you see you on the next video. Later, everyone.